Well, people, welcome back to the ROR Championship, formerly known as DFL. Here we are for pre-season testing, aka Season 5, and what a great time it should be. Of course, you can actually see me on these streams now. We'll get a bit of a border going eventually, but that'll be coming, don't you worry. More stuff coming, but I hope you liked the intro as well, you know, and I guess not many of you saw it, but it's there nonetheless. But we are now entering into some Imola action. As you can see, we have good old pre-season testing. I know you can't see me anymore, but that is that. I do have Callum in the call with me, or whenever he wants to join back. He's going to be hopping throughout today, just seeing what the drivers want, and I'm hoping at the same time the stream will hold up, but who knows. We will have to see how it goes, of course, and yeah, who knows. But I hope you're all having a brilliant day, and the guys will come out as and when they want. We have AIs, of course, to focus on at the same time. We're going to get our telemetry up, our lap data, and our full track map as well. It's been a while, but we are here for the hour to see what the guys will do, see how it will go, you know, and hopefully again the stream holds up, but who knows. But to give you a rundown of the Season 5 drivers, we have the Season 4 World Drivers Champion making his return into Season 5. Of course, George is in the Mercedes this time alongside Peter, who is also one half of Constructors Champions along with George back in Mercedes. We'll see if they can get retain their Drivers' Championship or not this time round. We also have the Season 1 World Drivers Champion, Preston, joining back, coming back. Of course, last season he was on commentary with me, but this time he's in the Red Bull with Callum's teammate last season, of course, Jamie, who's currently out on track now. Should probably turn down that volume a bit, but we'll get to that in a second, don't you worry. But then swiftly moving on to Ferrari. Unfortunately, Charlie is not here, but the Season 3 World Drivers Champion is making his return this season. But his partner, the one half of the Season 2 World Constructors Champions, Harry, is back in the Ferrari, and back in... No, he's actually... Has he been in Ferrari? I don't think he has. Yeah, so... See... No, he wasn't. Yes, he was in Season 3 when Charlie was in Alpine. Yes, so Harry is back in the Ferrari, but nonetheless. But making a return, of course, he wasn't a driver, but he drove back in Season 2 Abu Dhabi is Evan. Going in the Williams this season, we'll see what he can do, see what competition he can bring. But the newest addition is Neo, a guy we don't know anything about. We don't know his driver ability. We're going to see that today. We're going to see what he can do, and who knows, he might bring a show for all of us. We will have to wait and see what happens. A little bit of skid there. He definitely wasn't expecting that, but being out in the rain, it can be tough, of course. But that is what the practice session will be. It'll be rain. It'll be going from very wet to light wet to completely dry. For the guys to kind of like test out things on different tyres, you know, see what works, what doesn't, who knows. We'll see what times they can set. I hope you are all having a brilliant day. We do have some comments, sorry. Let's be having you. Exactly, welcome in, Neo, and welcome to your first bit of our ROR action. I hope you do enjoy your stay. You put it on wet on a map I've never been on. Unfortunately, Evan, you may get a lot of that. Me and Callum and me made a decision. We want you guys to test different tyre compounds and just see what happens. So we decided to put it on wet first. Just to see, you know, who can do what, and then when the dry comes at the end of it, everyone can run a fast lap, which we all need you to do, and we can see the AI difficulty, of course. But who knows, we'll have to see what happens here. I have no comments yet from the guys or anything, but I believe everyone is happy so far with everything they want. But I hope the stream is holding up. It looks like it's holding up for now, I believe. It does look like it. But we'll see kind of like what the guys can do. of course, the black Mercedes does return this game. It's nice to see it back. Of course, it was nice seeing the silver arrows. But yeah, that is that. Was it not Bahrain? I got told Bahrain. Well, basically in the group chat, we kind of said, look, we want to put it on wets first. And then people were a bit like, okay, can you do Imola first? Quite a few people on the group chat said that, and me and Callum kind of said, yeah, why not? We'll do Imola first. I apologise about the misinformation, Evan, but it was a last minute change. I do apologise again. But nonetheless here, we are gonna see what the guys can do. We have already seen a 1:31.983 setting by Jamie. Not probably his fastest lap, but a lap nonetheless, just to see what he can do out in the rain. And I'm sure he hopes to set a better time and see what he can do. I do see for George is currently out as well. Peter setting a 1:33.958. I'm sure again he'll be working on that, trying to see where he can get the better pace out of what corners, see where he can truly hit that apex for best. See what times he can get out of it. But we do have Evan in the pit. We do have Iberserk Wolf in the pit. We do have Preston out in the Red Bull, of course, on his return season. So we'll see what he can do. But Neo! Actually, no, first of all, we discuss Neo. We're going to discuss Harry on a 1:31.938. Beating Jamie by only 500ths of a second. That is just major, people, honestly. And then we do have Neo going with a 1:30.130 to take the top spot. But Jamie sets a 1:31.675 to overtake Harry. And then Preston goes P2 with a 1:31.183. So the guys setting in their times and showing each other what they're going to bring this season potentially. And who knows what will happen here. And we'll have to wait and see, of course. But I see the stream is a bit laggy. I hope it's not too laggy. Oh god, this is not good. This is really not good. Oh god. It should be fine, hopefully, we can say. But any more time set by the guys? None right now. I see Iberserk Wolf is coming out now to see what times he can set. As I said, he's not hasn't run this track before. So we'll have to see what he can do here, and see what times he can set in. How are you guys feeling anyway? You know, with this current season. You know, I hope you're feeling all good, all ready for this time round. Predictions, of course, we don't know what to expect. Of course, George will be looking to retain his World Drivers' Championship to a second time. Something that Preston, Charlie and Carl have failed to do in previous seasons. Whether George can truly do that this time round or not will be another question. Peter and George together will be looking to retain their Constructors' Championship. Of course, Alpine was able to do that 2 times in a row. Of course, Charlie in Alpine in the season 3, George and Peter in it in season 4 last season. But of course they're in Mercedes now, and they're looking to fulfil their own history books as 2-time Constructors' Champions. We'll see what they can do, see whether they can truly push for it or not. Who knows? Indeed, but we'll see what happens. But now Harry looks to be just on a fast lap on 1:17.118. He's looking, will he get round here in time? Okay, again, in the wets, you're going to be going a bit slower than expected, of course. 1:27, 1:28, will he improve his time? Oh, he does, and he takes it to P2 at 1:31.083. Almost a second behind Neo there, just short of that. Talking about Neo, he says he can improve massively on his time, especially last sector. So we'll be definitely watching his last sector when he comes back out and sees. But I believe Harry has gone off there. Unluckily, that is a yellow flag there. Oh, almost skids into wall there, just manages to catch it. He's going to have to be very careful here, that's for sure, to see what happens, and who knows what's going to happen here in these wet conditions and everything. I hope there's no problems. so far. Because, you know, we don't like problems, do we? What is Iverzerk Wolf setting in? He's going on a 30 seconds in his first sector now, up to 1 minute. What will it be in his second sector? That's a 103. I'm not sure about what the other guys' sectors have looked like, to be honest. That is a corner cut. Oh, what has gone wrong there? Now, we are gonna see what the guys can do. We have already seen a 131.983 setting by Jamie. Not probably his fastest lap, but a lap nonetheless, just to see what he can do out in Bahrain. And I'm sure he hopes to set a better time and see what he can do. I do see for George is currently out as well. Peter setting a 133.958. I'm sure again he'll be working on that, trying to see where he can get the better pace out of what corners, see where he can truly hit that apex for best. See what times he can get out of it. But we do have Evan in the pit. We do have Iberzerk Wolf in the pits. We do have Preston out in the Red Bull, of course, on his return season. So we'll see what he can do. But Neo, actually, no. First of all, we discuss Neo. We're going to discuss Harry on a 131.938. Beating Jamie by only 500ths of a second. That is just major, people, honestly. And then we do have Neo going with a 130.130 to take the top spot. But Jamie sets a 131.675 to overtake Harry. And then Preston goes P2 with a 131.183. So the guys setting in their times and showing each other what they're going to bring this season potentially. And who knows what will happen here. And we'll have to wait and see, of course. But I see the stream is a bit laggy. I hope it's not too laggy. Oh god, this is not good. This is really not good. Oh god. It should be fine, hopefully, we can say. But any more time set by the guys? None right now. I see Iberzerk Wolf is coming out now to see what times he can set. As I said, he's not hasn't run this track before. So we'll have to see what he can do here, and see what times he can set in. And why is this bugging? This is so annoying. The game's not bugging, but my stream is, and that's just annoying to me, honestly. Hopefully it eases up a bit, but we shall see what happens, of course. How are you guys feeling anyway? You know, with this current season, you know, I hope you're feeling all good, all ready for this time round. Predictions, of course, we don't know what to expect. Of course, George will be looking to retain his World Drivers' Championship to a second time. Something that Preston, Charlie, and Carl have failed to do in previous seasons. Whether George can truly do that this time round or not will be another question. Peter and George together will be looking to retain their Constructors' Championship. Of course, Alpine was able to do that 2 times in a row. Of course, Charlie in Alpine in the season 3, George and Peter in it in season 4 last season. But of course they're in Mercedes now, and they're looking to fulfil their own history books as 2-time Constructors' Champions. We'll see what they can do, see whether they can truly push for it or not. Who knows? Indeed, but we'll see what happens. But now Harry looks to be just on a fast lap on 117, 118. He's looking, will he get round here in time? Again, in the wets, you're going to be going a bit slower than expected, of course. 127, 128, will he improve his time? Oh, he does, and he takes it to P2 at 131.083. Almost a second behind Neo there, just short of that. Talking about Neo, he says he can improve massively on his time, especially last sector. So we'll be definitely watching his last sector when he comes back out and sees. But I believe Harry has gone off there. Unluckily, that is a yellow flag there. Oh, almost skids into wall there, just manages to catch it. He's going to have to be very careful here, that's for sure, to see what happens, and who knows what's going to happen here. But yes, I mean, the stream is really buggy, isn't it? It's not good. It's really not good. I think it's holding together, but I'm not too sure. At least for recording will be good. So all of you guys can see this on YouTube after, and just watch it. I mean, it'll be the highlights of it, of course. It won't be the full thing, but nonetheless, it'll be fun, whatever. Nice one, no worries, Callum. I hope I hope all the guys are okay. In these wet conditions and everything. I hope there's no problems so far. Because, you know, we don't like problems, do we? What is Overzerk Wolf setting in? He's going on a 30 seconds in his first sector now, up to 1 minute. What will it be in his second sector? That's a 103. I'm not sure about what the other guys' sectors have looked like, to be honest. That is a corner cut. Oh, what has gone wrong there? No, that is a corner cut. Am I really laggy? I may have to restart the stream, which is really annoying. Oh, okay. Right, I will be back momentarily. Just gonna see if I can edit something. I kind of expected this, to be honest, but yeah, it's not good. Be back 1 second. Stop streaming. Is it stopped? Yes, it is. Nice one. Settings. I do apologise about this, guys. I know all of you on YouTube can still hear me. I am trying to make sure that it's alright. We're just going to lower the kilobytes per second. Hopefully that works. Apply. Is that applied? I think that is. We're going to start streaming again. Oh, no. What's happening here? Something's happening. I'm not sure why it won't let me go live again. It just really won't let me go live. Or am I live? I don't know. Something's happening here. And I do not like it. What is going wrong here? Welcome to a regular ROR thing. This is really useful, I know. We're going to disconnect that, we're going to connect account. This is why the highlights can be going out on YouTube, because problems like this.
All good?
Nope.
Well, I just said what's happened, yeah, but I mean, like, all I'm saying is, everyone seems like, okay.
What even,
Evan,
yeah.
Yeah, Evan's not set a representative time.
Apparently we can't mention his name either, so...
Yeah, I was saying as a laugh because obviously everyone was expecting Bahrain today, but...
Oh, brilliant. No worries.
No, but I said it helps bring uncertainty.
True.
Because now Neo's flying.
Right, I'm going to start back up the stream and hopefully it works.
Yeah,
but...
if you'll not introduce me or whatever, do whatever you want on it.
That's fine. Are we back live? We are back live. I don't know if that's going to hold together or not. I'm just kind of hoping it will. Please say we're back on. Oh, I'm looking unstable again. This is really not nice. I hate this. I hate this so much. Oh my god. My stream is actually falling apart. Oh my god. Oh my word. What is happening?
Don't have to stream it. If not, just post the highlights if you want.
Wait, is it really not working at all?
Just leave it. No, I can't hear you like nothing on here. I can hear you on the like my phone on the stream, but I can't hear you at all, and it's proper laggy. Maybe just leave it for now. Just post the highlights and then try and work out a way to stream the other one.
Yeah, I think that'd be best. Wait. Can you hear me now properly?
Yeah, go on. What?
Can you hear me now properly?
Yeah, it's not too bad, but it's just annoying sometimes.
I don't know if...
Hey, George is 4/10 behind Neo.
This could be interesting. If Neo is doing this now, This could change some things. Yeah, the stream is not holding together.
Are you still not recording, yeah?
I am, yeah. I'm gonna have to stop stream. I can't hold this together. My PC can't do it. Now I'm really worried for the actual races.
Just...
Oh god.
Nah, you sound fine on there. You do.
Fair enough. It's just Discord, I guess.
Yeah, I can't hear you for nothing on Discord.
What, when I'm live or now?
Yeah, but I don't know. No, when you're live.
Oh, okay, cool.
Now you're
sorry. Just trying to work things out. My PC has reached a point where it's breaking down, so I now have to literally probably buy a £600 PC just to get it working again.
Nice.
I know, right?
I really want to get a PC.
You should.
Yeah, but I just don't. I don't know. I just don't use it enough. I don't think. That's the thing. Like, I use it in the summer when I'm back home, but like I wouldn't take it to uni with me.
Fair enough. But anyway, should we focus back on this?
Of course you can.
It's highlights now, so we can talk about what we want, and it can just be cut out.
Yeah, and then just cut. Yes.
Yeah.
Amazing. But yeah, for any of you that don't know, obviously former driver here, moved to management. But yeah, just making sure things are more stable within the league. I know there's been a lot of issues. I can tell you that from the inside. So just a quick rundown of what today's session is. I know obviously we've been nearly 20 minutes in, but it's just basically all three different types of weather scenarios, just so people can get a gist for what obviously they're in for. New game, new league kind of thing. A lot of new drivers up on track. We've got Evan, who unfortunately as it stands has not set a representative time, but obviously new man Neo, who's instantly gone to the top in the wet. So, you know, maybe give a bit of competition to George Dan. I don't know how you feel about that.
Any competition who brings it to him, and I'm happy about that.
Yeah.
Means he don't dominate.
But obviously we've got returning drivers, different teams. We've got Harry back in a Ferrari. We've got Jamie back in a Red Bull. We've got the Alpine Constructors Champions. Moving to Mercedes. Obviously, I feel like it's just more of just a cosmetic thing rather than representatives in regards to teams. But yeah, as it stands, obviously, this timesheet, I mean, it could look like this later on. It might not. Like, it's just unpredictable, obviously, with the different stages of the weather.
Oh.
So.
Evan going with a 131.212, sitting in P5, ahead of Peter and Jamie. I know, obviously, it's not representative to probably what the qualifying times will be come actual proper races, but if this is what to expect...
Yeah, I mean, one thing I do know, obviously, by hopping in different calls and speaking to different drivers throughout, I know Evan has not touched his track at all. So to have instantly been able to go P5, clearly showing raw pace, and I think this is only up for him around this track now. I think that's just a banker statement lap.
Yeah.
I'm being perfectly honest.
I can't tell, but is it slowing down now? I don't think it is. I think it's still very wet.
I think the weather increment should be every 20 minutes change.
Should be.
And then obviously next weekend it will be more like long running around Sakia. Testing out like the hards, mediums, working out what's good, working out what's bad. Kind of stuff for each individual driver, but yeah, you know, I would be out there this season. Might be back next season. Not ruling it out just yet. It does feel weird to be sat behind the screen and not actually racing, I'll be perfectly honest with you, but...
It's not that bad, though. It's, you know, come on.
Yeah, but you haven't driven.
I know, but I'm scared to, man. I feel I'm going to take everyone out.
Oh, that'd be the fun part.
Oh, yeah.
You have to include this bit in the video, Dan. You don't need to expose yourself.
Mate, but why not? I'll race one day. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, of course, man.
But, yeah. I mean... Go on, sorry. I was just gonna say it's interesting so far because we don't have Charlie, so we don't have him to sort of set any times yet to see where he would land.
Unfortunately, he's looking to miss the initial practice. I believe obviously we've only got Harry representing the Scuderia team, but I mean, we know Charlie's pace. We know he's not a bad driver. And I just think, as you can see, I know it's wet weather, but it's only separated by 2 seconds. All obviously our drivers in the top 7. I mean, as you normally expect, really. But the weather is starting to dry up. I think it will soon start to be intermediate conditions. So obviously you'll get a different type of pace in regards to the initial 7 that we're seeing. But it's good to see no real consistency with teams. We're just seeing a lot of variety. I mean, the top 5 made of 5 different teams.
Very true.
So take of that as you will.
I'm glad we do have the new guy coming in and putting in a stonking lap, because we were worried that George was going to just absolutely just dominate everyone this season. But having potential of Neo being his challenger could make it very interesting.
I think it just brings it together, because especially towards the latter stages of the last season, I think George very much acclimatized to being at the top, and I think a lot of people around him acclimatized to him being at the top. So as soon as you make the hunter the hunted, I think you see a very much different side of George. And obviously, as you say, this is wet conditions around Imola. At the end of the day, this isn't a wet race round Australia, for example, or Austria, or Britain. Tracks like that, it's a completely different setup. It's just to get a general gist of the car that you're driving, different setups, testing out different things. So
very true.
So we've got 38 minutes to go.
But yeah, we shall see. At least all the drivers are happy right now. For the moment. Before crashes start happening in races and stuff. For the moment.
That's what I'm here for.
Of course you are. What shock?
Yeah, I'll be egging them on.
Don't you dare. I will hate you so much.
I think the competition's got a lot more tighter instantly. That's the thing. Which I think is better because, I mean, you'd have to include this bit. Go on. Hello. George has gone fastest by just under a tenth of a second. This is re-emphasising my point of when you make the hunter the hunted, you see a very different driver.
Yeah, they up their game and it makes them improve. It's what's happened over the 4 previous seasons, especially for the likes of Jamie. I'm sure you can agree. You've seen massive improvement from him.
Especially, man. Well, being his former teammate, I mean, obviously I've got 2 former teammates racing the Red Bull. Yeah. I can, you want someone to talk about the Red Bull team, I'm probably your man. But I think both of them are quick. I feel like JB's very much just acclimatizing, getting used to the wet weather. I know he can go a lot faster. But as you say, with George and Neo, it's looking very close. Peter's also only 3 tenths behind George. Need to look at that. Obviously, and George just had a moment coming out of the chicane, put it on the grass, kept out the wall, fortunately for himself. But we are 12 laps in, and normal man up top, but we've got a new man in P2.
And
Neo, so
and life is good.
Yeah.
For now,
well,
anyway.
As I say, I'm just going to be serious with you now. I think especially now that you can get a variety of drivers, and I think especially now by doing practice, and so, I'm happy we kept Neo in the wings beforehand.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So I just think it makes so much more sense rather than have him join midway through, because that's not really fair on him. And you think, obviously, not having to Carl and Brad, and they never brought in a lot more people. Yeah, I know we don't have them anymore, but as soon as you can start trusting drivers, and even if you said if you want to join, if you sure do a quick 25% away. Oh, Peter's gone fastest. Hello.
Oh, 128. I know that's only 4 tenths, but still.
The track is ramping up. I think more drivers will start to be on that top spot. We're seeing Jamie move up to P5, Harry down to P6, Evan back down to P7. He's obviously only set that 131.2 and then picked. So, I mean, I think the track is definitely starting to ramp up. You're definitely starting to see a more light rain, more the puddles are clear and you get more of a dry line. I wouldn't be surprised soon if you start seeing drivers just start to push out on the intermediate tyres. I mean, we all still have the blue rings on at the minute on the wets, but I think we're only a few moments away from it being intermediate condition.
Very true, very true. I also hope for every wheel driver is in cockpit view right now.
Well, you can hope, but yeah, that is one of the things we are meant to be incrementing in.
Yeah.
Here we go with George to the line.
Oh.
What can he do? Can he improve? Doesn't. Stays the same unless he's starting a lap now. He has got traffic in front of him though, and the likes of Harry's looked to have backed off a little bit, and I don't think George is going to go fast this lap. I think the Ferrari has massively held him up.
Very true, very true.
Yeah, if I had to do a shot every time you say very true, I'll be blasted.
People in the group chat talking about who's on no traction, who isn't. Of course, Preston saying how, like him being on controller, there's no point learning no traction because it's just going to be chaotic.
Yeah.
Which is fair enough. I see Foots, Harry's off it. I think Neo's off it. Oh, any of you lot on full traction? Sorry.
Yeah, alright. I just believe, like, at the end of the day, it's what it is. Depends who driver's most comfortable to. You don't want to start pushing people to things they don't want to do. We see Evan coming out on an outlap here, and he is putting on the green rings of the intermediate tyres. Preston also out on the intermediates. The first two drivers. The dice with danger, I believe. So you might be seeing these two push up towards the top.
You are actually wrong because Peter's on intermediate, so is Neo, and so Harry's not.
Now. I was going to say, they're only coming
out
now. The driver's on track on the intermediates.
Apologies.
Right.
But I get what you mean. But we shall see how much their times can improve by being on the intermediates. I'm especially excited for when it goes to dry because that's when people will hammer home their times. And hopefully people will actually listen to us and do a fast time so we can
I believe they will. At the end of the day, it's a more competitive element. Everyone wants to be the guy at the top. You know, you want to start the season off strong. So, but then again, in some cases, you might not want to show all your cards.
Very true.
You don't want to show that you are as quick as you can be. So, I mean, as we see Preston now coming around.
He will start his time lap now. That will be a glitch, unfortunately, where he was on his out lap, but it said he was on a time lap, so he's starting his time lap now.
Nice. I'll just run you through the lap if you like. He's just going through slow chicane there. Just beforehand, push up towards the first sector. We will be able to see a difference in his lap time. For sure. Going a bit slow though, a bit of an issue in sector 1 in regards to the yellow flags. Preston is 6 tenths up, and that just shows the sheer difference in regards to the tyres.
Very true, very true. He's now come round this, as I like to call it, Season 2 bends.
Yeah, got a very hard part here, braking and uphill climb.
Looks like he's keeping it strong, though.
Well, yeah, he's very much pushing. 1.5 seconds faster than on the wet tyre. This is currently putting him on pole. Well, I say pole, in first place, should I say, more practice. But he's looking fast. And obviously, you know, former Drivers' World Champion, former commentator, the man is now stepping back into the car. You know, he might not be a bit rusty on the old sticks, but I'm sure we all know the Preston that dominated Season 1. And the same Preston is going to come across the line and be 8 tenths faster than second place.
But I also see Evan, who's about to cross the line now. What's it going to be? He goes into
Evan
first
goes
place.
fastest.
Oh, 127.857.
For someone who's very much not used to this track.
Questions have to be asked.
You're seeing Jamie now pushing round as well. Same as Harry.
Will they be able to beat the time that Evan has so strongly put into first place? It's looking potentially. Was it a strong second sector for Jamie? I
I,
didn't really see.
I don't think it was. I don't know if he's been caught up in traffic. He's struggling a bit with his ERS. I think he might have used it all. You see drastic flashing on the back in the case of recharging.
But that is also Peter behind him. What are they both going to put in here? Jamie goes third fastest. Peter puts it in first place with a 126. 1 whole second quicker than Evan, basically.
Yeah, but I mean, you got to look at the 2 and 5th and 6th respectfully. These two have not come out really to dice with the intermediate conditions, and they were the original top 2. So, as you say, as much as they are setting competitive laps, you do very much have to look at the fact of that not all cars have been out yet.
Very true, very true. We will see what 5th and 6th can do. I see George coming out now. So, of course, after his out lap, we'll see what times he can set in. But who knows? But this is very interesting data so far. Very interesting times.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of variety, and obviously the rain will now start to clear. You'll see a difference in cars. As Harry puts it P2, 4 tenths faster than Evan, but still, unfortunately, 6 tenths below Peter.
This is just
But
incredible.
This is the advantage of having a difference in weather. You're just going to see flat out different times. Bit of contact there. Harry losing the rear end to the AlphaTauri car of Nick De Vries, I believe.
I have
now
one. Oh, go on, sorry.
I was going to say, we are now seeing George begin to push and push out. Peter does yet again set a faster time.
Looks like he's blocked
There's
off
George
the Red
now.
Bull with Jamie there. Whether Jamie was on a fast lap or not, I'm not too sure. But he did. Peter did end up blocking him after crossing that line.
Might be impeded, might be investigated later on, dependent. It is practice at the end of the day. It's not exactly like a qualifying. However, it is still important for all drivers. So
very true. The 3 guys of Preston, George and Neo are out now. Of course, you got 2 World Drivers Champions in that mix and 1 new guy who has so far quite impressed us. So,
I mean, especially in the wet condition, looking very fast. I mean, we'll see the difference now as it shifts from intermediates and then towards the dries, whether or not he can keep that up.
very true, but this...
But don't rule out.
But this is truly showing, though, how the ROR, of course formerly known as DFL, if any of you are not accustomed to the change yet, is truly evolving. We're bringing in new competition, better competition, and, you know, we're seeing what guys can do. Oh, Neo going on the grass there, but of course being on the outlap, it doesn't really matter. But even if you're not the quickest driver, I mean, Peter just setting a quicker time of 126.155. I don't know how this guy does it, to be honest. He's just impressing us all.
3 seconds ahead of Harry.
I know. But all I'll say is, although even if people aren't the quickest, that's what feels out. That's what a grid is. It's about improving. It's about getting better over time. So then you can get nearer the top, and that's what all drivers have done. And Harry has lost it.
Spun round. He lost it a bit coming into the chicane, and then just caught the sausage curve before coming up. Now that will not do his tyres or his confidence really in the wet any good. Luckily for him, the wet is starting to move. It's starting to shift towards the dry, but as you say, I mean, as a driver myself, or formerly, should I say, a driver myself, for me, qualifying weren't exactly, you know, it's still good to qualify at the front, but at the end of the day, it's only it's only like 100 meters or so. You know what I mean? And you got to think, if you're doing a long race, 100 meters is nothing.
I mean,
so
yeah, true.
As important as qualifying is, at the end of the day, as long as you're up there, anyone's in for a fighting chance. Any mistakes, I mean, you saw it, especially last season opener. Who would have expected the man in the lead to just DNF? Like, you know, it's the unpredictability of the sport and obviously of the league in the sense that You never know what's coming around the corner.
Very true, very true. And I mean, let's go back to last season Monza. A McLaren 1-2 for you and Jamie. I mean, you weren't on top for you. Oh my god, a 125.488. Oh my word. Neo is just stonking these laps. I don't know how to put it better, but incredible. But
I mean, but you got to look at George now, 2.3 seconds up on his middle sector, very much looking to be within the 125s as well. Absolutely flooring it now just before some of the last corners here. He has had a bit of a poor entry, which results in a poor exit. And for what such a good lap it was, he will still come up to the line and finish it. But I don't know if it's going to be exactly the biggest improvement. It puts him third. But for what I saw, he could have been challenging a lot higher.
very true, very true. He'll be looking to see what pace he can get out of those corners better than what he did in his last lap, what apexes he could hit better, and just see where he can find that time he needs to catch up to Peter and Neo. But going back to quickly what I was saying about last season, you and Jamie, I don't think you had an alright qualifying one, but you didn't have the best one, but then you both went on to win the race. So it does show that you don't need the best qualifying, as long as you have the determination to go and
exactly. I
do it.
believed to myself I would start P4 or P. It was in the top 5, I believe. I know Jamie was second, but it's just a case of, you know, it was just. I don't want to say it's luck, but I've always said from the start, in any race, it's 50% luck, 50% skill. You can be the best driver out on the track, but if you get caught, or if you make an lapse of judgment, or you make a mistake, it will catch up on you. So that was always my motive in going into it. But we are, I hate to interrupt you, Dan, but we are now beginning to see some dry runners.
And that will bring out the proper pace for people. I mean, we saw Neo set a 125.2. So imagine what these guys could do on dry. Oh my word, a 125.5. Not 125, a 124.5.
And as I was saying earlier about George and his pace, I know he made a poor third sector and he kind of wanted to push on, and I think wanted to prove a point. I think he knew damn well he could have done faster, and as we've seen, he's gone remarkably faster. Jamie going up to P2, you can very much tell now the track is beginning to ramp up. It's becoming dry conditions.
Very true.
With a lot of drivers still out, pushing, we will see a lot more improved times, I believe.
I'll be interested to see whether the guys go straight onto softs or whether maybe they go onto mediums or hards. You know.
I mean, just over 20 minutes left. Just depends, really. They're all throwaway tyres in the sense of, you know, it's nothing really major. Yeah, I see George skating through the gravel.
George has had a few slip outs this session, as well as Harry. Is it maybe?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I just think you see quick change in weather. Obviously, I know it's a game not 100% realistic in the sense of the weather, but as you can see now, final 20 minutes, looking to be dry. So it's just who dares to dance with the softer tyres, with your C3, C4, C5 compounds.
And this is why I have a commentating partner, because you actually have the knowledge I don't. But this will be very interesting. The fact that Peter, Jamie and George have each got into the 124s. I don't think they're actually on dry tyres yet. Neo will be very interested to see whether he gets a 124, potentially higher on those dries as well. Will people be reaching a 123 or 122? DRS is also enabled now as well. That will bring a huge factor.
This is beginning to show the quick change to your dry weather, and I believe now we will start to see faster times be set.
This is about to get really interesting, especially the fact that an AI is above Harry and Evan. Those two will want to get ahead of that AI. They won't want an AI ahead of them, if you get what I mean. It's
yeah, exactly that.
It's not embarrassment as such, but it's sort of, yeah.
Right, I'm going to quickly hop in the other, cut this part out. I'm just going to quickly hop in the other call, see how everyone got on in the wet, see how everyone's feeling.
No worries.
I'll be back in like 5-10 minutes.
See you in a minute. But people, this is truly getting very interesting now. The times are just so challenging from these guys. Of course, all of them going on to the dry tyres now. And I see Harry already on the hards, which is quite interesting, I find. Obviously, going on the hards, wanting that longevity on those tyres. Not wanting to have to always go in, but Lance Stroll setting a 124.186. If an AI can set that time on softs, I'll be very interested to see what our drivers can do today as well. But it will be interesting to see. Of course, Harry is the only one out right now, but I do see Peter coming out now, and George. So both Mercedes coming out now. I'm not sure. I don't think anyone else is coming out, but Harry is about to start his time lap here. The first time lap of our drivers with dry tyres. This is truly about to get very interesting indeed. I'll be interested to see what Harry and I, Berserk Wolf, or Evan can do. I'm used to saying I was like Wolf now, but Harry now going on his fast lap to see what he can do. Has the Alpine behind him, but hopefully the Alpine does not cause too much trouble at all. Looks like the Alpine's trying to go for the overtake. Now Harry having to avoid the Red Bull as well, taking it nicely round the chicane there. And not going too wide on that corner at all. Hitting that apex correctly. Round we go on this corner now. Nicely done. Fernando Alonso saying a 121 there on mediums. I'll be interested to see what Harry could do in a minute. But Harry now nicely taking it around there. Not going too wide unlike the Alpine. Potentially not hitting the pace he would want round those corners. For the fact he's not going too wide. Because we know you should really be going a bit wide if you want the full speed, if you get what I mean. Like, not too wide, then it's illegal, but just wide enough. But Harry nicely taking it around those corners, has the Alpine on him. Again, of course, the Alpine getting the slipstream off of Harry. Of course, the Alpine having none of our drivers in the season. Had Charlie, of course, in Season 3. Had George and Peter in Season 4. But, of course, there is no driver in the Alpine this time. But Harry now going down here. There is a Mercedes at the bottom of that, causing a yellow flag. But Harry swiftly skips through that. And to the finish line, what is his final time going to be? It's looking like a 121.47. No, that's Pierre Gasly. Harry sets a 121.531, but Pierre Gasly sets a 121.474. I tell you, I'm not used to commentating on my own, so the coughing's coming back. But nonetheless, Pierre Gasly, of course, getting the slipstream off of Harry, so that's just more pace for the AI himself. But Fernando Alonso setting a 119.618. Harry not being up to the speed he can be, but of course Harry again on the hards will be affecting it. Some of our guys out now, what are they repping here? We have George on the hards, Jamie on the softs, Peter on the hards, Neo on the mediums, Preston on the mediums, and Evan on the softs as well. A mix from each of our drivers. We'll see what times they can set, what times they come out with, of course. But most of our drivers now going on to their time lapse. That includes Preston. That includes Neo as well, who's behind Preston. Peter also goes and sets a 190.165. Nice one by Peter there to get that time to set himself straight into P1. There, nicely done. Really setting the bar for the guys. George sets a 120.673. Just below most of the guys now. Harry sets a 119.785, definitely an improvement from his last lap, leading him to P4. Jamie stonks it though with a 117.041. Of course, being on most softs, we have to comprehend, of course, the different tyres as well. Mercedes, of course, on the hards, as we said, so their times will be down. Whilst Jamie being on the softs, he's going to be faster, obviously producing at 117. So nicely done by Jamie, but we'll see what the guys can all do on their softs. Neo being on the mediums, that will be a mix between the Mercedes and Jamie, of course. If he can set a faster time than Jamie whilst being on the mediums, that will be something. We've only seen it done once before, and that guy ended up leaving. So who knows? But he crosses the line now, getting a P through for 118.045. Preston claims the P2 with a 117.205. The guy setting in times after times. Neo and Preston only been separated by 0.8 of a second. Preston Jamie only been
Pushing
separated
up
by
to
2 tenths.
P3.
Wow.
Evan on the soft compound pushing up to P3. I mean, you see the difference in cars, the difference in tyres, especially different fuel loads as well, depending on whether the drivers are running lower fuel loads, obviously testing the longer stints. Got 50 minutes still to go, so I believe in the last 5 or 10 minutes or so, I think all drivers will switch to the softs. I think all drivers will show what they've got. As it stands, you know, Preston looking very fast, being 2 tenths down on his teammate on the mediums compared to the softs. I believe Preston might have a thing or two up his sleeve. Looking further down, Neo about a second down. So I think Preston's is definitely more impressive. To only be 2 tenths on the mediums. And obviously both Mercedes splitting it, one on mediums, one on hards. I think we're all looking for your longer runs. But yeah, don't know about you, Dan, but I'm seeing a lot of change at the top.
I am too. I mean, Neo stonk in the second place with a 117.097, being almost mediums as well. Of course, just behind Jamie on most softs. I'm interested what Preston and Neo will do on the softs now.
Yeah, I believe the thing is the track. I think Jamie was one of the first to try with the soft compound, and obviously they will have 3 or 4 tyres. I think you will start to see more and more drivers just chuck on sets of soft compounds. But it's still looking good.
Very true. Harry taking it up to P6 now, almost hard as he was before, putting it in a 118.805, only behind by just under 2 tenths of a second from George.
Them two looking for your longer stints, looking at tyre degradation and different fuels, as you said, without obviously the dry weather. But I think especially towards the end, obviously it was still a wet track, trying to reacclimatise and build a racing line. In a sense, building like, you know, the most gripped area. I think, you know, everyone can still improve drastically in regards to their times.
Very true, very true. We'll see what the guys can pull out and see what they can do. Whether that is Jamie's best time, potentially at 117.041 being on the softs, or not, we'll have to wait and see. Whether it can improve or not, extend the bar for these guys. But as you say, I'll be interested to see what they can all do on the softs, because that'll be a real representation of where everyone is standing this season.
Yeah, the thing is, it'll especially be more linked to your qualifying. What you want to look at, obviously, next Saturday in regards to the longer stint in Bahrain, that will very much be more your race pace setup. This is more impact. You know, we're going from, you know, to the blue ring, to the green ring, and now we're seeing all colours of rings. We're seeing the red, the yellow, and the white. So it's very much different. So we are seeing all 3 major compounds being used, and all of the drivers very much looking strong.
Very true, but I do see Logan Sargent stepping it up to P5. The AI is on the softs, so will be quicker than the guys on the hards. Of course, Harry, George, and Peter. But for the 2 Williams to be P4 and P5, that's quite good for the team, really. In a practice, really, it could be quite competitive when it comes to actual races, if the AI can keep up.
Indeed. I mean, we see Jamie's come out on a fresh set of rubber, another soft compound. Same with Evan, I believe. He's fitted a new compound. Whether or not when he wants to come out, we've got Preston now coming into the pitch. Just shy of 10 minutes to go before the checker flag falls. And we're very much seeing a split grid in regards to where everybody is, but also a competitive one. I wouldn't really say any driver's exactly running away with it. Obviously, it might be different once we switch all onto the softs, but at the end of the day, we know certain drivers are faster than others, but at the end of the day, your only advantage is going into turn 1.
Very true. Yeah, I'm sorry, I was just messaging the guys, just reminding them to run their fast laps, because knowing them, they will forget. And then we'll have a problem. So we'll see what happens. But has anyone else actually changed their tyres at all? Or just Evan and Preston?
Is now out on his outlap. Preston has now fitted the soft compound. And it's Jamie who is now pushing around Peter, going faster on the mediums. A 1:16.7 for the man in Mercedes. But Jamie pushing on here. He's began his fast lap, looking very quick. Got no traffic this time, but he has. Unfortunately, a bit of commentator's curse. I don't know if it's affected me too. But just as I've gone to him, unfortunately, he has had a bit of a trip through the gravel. So I think, unless he's still going to push on, I think he might have to just cool down the tyres for pushing up. But we are seeing your Season 1 Drivers' Champion leaving the pit lane now with the C3 compound, with the soft compound tyre. Very much looking to see what he can pull out. Only 5 tenths down on what is currently our pole position, and obviously on a compound which is a lot slower pressing its time on. We will now look to see how he can go on these softs.
Very true, very true. It'll be interesting, but I have a very quick question for you. Obviously, we're in the first pre-season test of the season. You're seeing what the guys can do right now. What is your season predictions? Who's winning? What's your early predictions? Who's winning World Drivers' Championship and who's winning Constructors? I want to shout.
I'm gonna get held. I'm gonna get held to this. Well, I think I could say a comfortable top 3.
Okay.
I believe you can't count George out for sure. He's the one defending the title, and as I say, but more being hunted to the hunted. I believe he will now have a massive target on his back, and obviously he will want to hold on to that title. In regard to someone like Neo, obviously we haven't seen his soft tyre pace. It is looking quick though, so it's all dependent on how he does. Obviously, towards the latter stages, so obviously you can't rule out Preston either. I mean, I might just have been picky then, just pick basically all your world champions on the grid. You got Charlie as well, to be fair. Who's obviously the defending champion who isn't here. But if I'm being honest, I mean, I've got to just put my money, probably on the Mercedes.
Fair enough, fair enough. Peter saying that the current time he's setting is his fastest lap, a 1:16.740. So we'll see whether any of the guys can beat that, or whether that is the fastest time this session. But I will, I'll definitely get a clip of that predictions, and I'll make sure to save it so I can play it back to you at the end of the season, where you're either correct or very, very wrong.
Free traffic gets past Nico Hulkenberg there without much issue.
Good. Nice one. But
we know him as a strong track for this driver. And he's still pushing on 2 tenths up in the middle sector. Looking to put him in the midst where his teammate is, but how will his final sector be? It's a very strong track for the Red Bull driver, and as he rounds the final few corners, is now foot to the floor. He's going to dump everything he can, open up DRS, up to the line, and it is P2 a 10th down on Peter. Very much showing his hand early on.
That probably will be his fastest lap as well. Showing for. We could have some real close competition this season. As we say, I'll be interested to see what Neo will set right now, doing his fastest lap. He's 2 tenths quicker in his sector 2 there. So we'll see what he can pull out at the end. George is about to do his fastest lap as well. And we see Charlie coming in now as well. I hope he can slot in. I hope he can join. I'm not sure if he can, but Neo getting held up here by the Alpha Atari. That will affect his time. And he's having to go into pits because of it.
Chuck on Nero. We've got 6 minutes left of the session. So this is now very much where you'll see the faster times. Harry still only on the hard compounds. He might leave it very much to the end. I think Neo might just be looking to put on a fresh set of rubber. Jamie out on an outlap now. Preston still out. But it's Peter sat in the pits, sitting on top of the grid as well. Just a 10th faster than Preston and P2.
I do see Charlie messaging in the group now. Apparently he can't join, unfortunately.
I believe then we'll have to wait and see to Sakia. But I will spin the question down which you posed on me. Who do you think's going to win the world title then this season?
God damn it, man. You know I'm an unbiased commentator. I can't.
You spun it on me. I mean, as I say, I've just got to. You got to back the defending champion. He won it for a reason, and he dominated the season. To be quite frank, so unless other drivers can very much meet him where his pace is, I think he is the person to beat.
Yeah, I mean, well, I think, as you say, it's going to be very close. I think you're going to see Preston, Peter, Neo, and George, the four of them potentially really going at it this season. Maybe with the inclusion of Harry, and Jamie potentially, and Evan if he wants to join everyone. But I think the top main four will be Preston, Peter, George, and Neo, because they are the fastest we're seeing right now. But I'm not going to count out Evan and Jamie, and of course I also think that Charlie could have a really good shout in it as well. Like this, we have a lot of competition this season. A lot of drivers who can pull
I believe.
very big times.
Yeah, it'll also be one of the seasons where I don't think you will see consistent winners. As obviously last season as well. Who would have expected McLaren to be the first team to get 1-2? Hey, but you very much got to look at it. We've got a very high level of competition very early on between the 8 of them, and I believe now not many of them out, unfortunately. This is Jamie pushed up to the line, and Jamie set at a 117 flat, 3/10 off the pace of Peter. He's looking very strong in the dry.
I believe I do see Neo now coming out on his soft, so he'll be looking to redo his lap he tried to do before he was blocked off. George is not yet coming out, but I do see Harry coming out now, so he'll be looking to set his fast time as well. Everyone realising we've got 3 minutes left and just wanting to come out and set the best times they can now, really. I'm hoping George comes out soon, because otherwise he will run out of time.
Yeah, I'm seeing Evan now begin to push on the fast lap, looking very strong. So it's whether or not what he can provide for P5 for the man who is obviously very new, very rarely raced in the league. So, he's very much got a point to prove for himself and for others. A team on his own, unfortunately, but I believe he still will have great competition. I mean, obviously he knows a lot of drivers on the grids, and in that sense, he's not alone. So you can't count him out for sure. He's very much the underdog. No one really knows, aside from him, what he can offer. Obviously, a lot of the drivers who we see season in, season out, your likes of Jamie, your likes of Preston, your likes of Harry, you kind of know what you're going to get with them. But with the more and more drivers that you know, you're very much seeing unpredictability within the league. We are now seeing George exit the pits, begin an outlap. He will be one of the last few to cross the line and is evident to the pits. I believe he is done for the session, setting a 117.7 as his fastest lap today.
It's quite a strong start from Evan, to be honest. I do see George coming out now to do his fast lap, but yeah, quite a strong showing from first time out for Evan, really.
I'm now seeing Peter come out as well on an outlap. He is the man to beat, and that time was set on medium compound. So expect to see a possible increased distance between himself and second place.
We shall see what happens. Unfortunately, Ritvik did message me at 8 o'clock saying he could join, but of course I didn't see a message. And now we only have 1 minute left, so there's no real point in him joining. But I said next Saturday would be fine. Of course, we'll be at Bahrain. So Ritvik will be coming back
The Middle
next
East,
Saturday.
from Europe to the Middle East. But we are now seeing, I think you need to turn your attention to Neo, looking very fast around the final corner. And this is the man who's been fastest in both different weather conditions, up to the line. And wow.
Oh my word. That is just incredible. Oh, Harry said a 116. That
He's
is
very quick from all drivers.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, Evan has retired. He's exiting the car. I believe, as you say, his race is done. He might be last of all drivers, but I wouldn't say he's done too bad. He might be a bit off the pace.
But who knows? But I do see that George and Peter are on one final lap together. What times have they put together? George is 1 whole second quicker in Sector 2. So he will be setting a very quick lap here, I'm sure. Peter as well will also be setting a good lap. Will this go above Neo? Peter will be first. What time will he set here? It's looking like a strong one. It doesn't look like it's beaten Neo. He stays third. But what does George do? He pulls in third with a 116.2, and Neo rounds off the session first. But probably not a surprise, but a surprise at the same time. Harry P2. And Harry with the donuts now as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's looking very strong. Very much you see the competition difference. It might be just over 2 seconds. But we have seen it very, very close in all different weather conditions. And obviously for certain drivers being new to the track, so I think Bahrain, well, you'll very much see the difference in what will be more race pace. This is obviously more like qualified. There's more impact onto the softs. But as we round it off, we have seen a Haas of Neo on top, setting the fastest time, setting a gauntlet for the rest of the drivers. Harry, a bit of a shock maybe to some, but he takes P2 in the Scuderia Ferrari without his teammate here. George then third, your reigning drivers champion in the Mercedes, then followed by his teammate Peter. Very much close, only 5/10 separated them, but even closer between two teammates. He got it down to 5th and 6th, both Red Bulls, Preston and Jamie. Well, only 2/10 separated them, 5th and 6th, and then Evan, the new kid on the block, takes P7 in what has been, well, between me and you, Dan, a very much enjoyable first practice.
Very true, very true. I have to agree with you there. We shall end up seeing what happens. You know, who knows what could happen here. But we shall see. But I do say thank you, all of you, for joining us here at our practice session. I know you hear the F1 music behind. It's not great. But nonetheless, thank you for joining us here on this good old Sunday here in Imola for our first practice. We'll be back next week with our Bahrain practice session, and then we'll be getting straight into Season 5. You know it, people. This is me and Callum signing off for this week. Goodbye, guys.